Hi, everyone. My name is Suzie Dawson. I'm the founder of Panquake.com. And April is such an amazing month for us. And I'm here to tell you all about it. So, as many of you will know by now, if you've been to panquake.com/reveal, April is the month that our community got to see the amazing design of the front end of Panquake. We released our UI, our user interface design for you all, and the feedback was 99.99% positive, enthusiastic, thrilled, and complimentary. So I thank you all for the feedback that you've given us over the last couple of weeks. And for those of you that haven't yet got to see the amazing release of our UI, go check it out at panquake.com/reveal. As we do every single month, we're going to take you through some of the key campaign metrics and some of the development progress on our build over the course of the last 4 weeks. So I'm going to jump into the presentation right now. Bear with me. Here we go. April Public Delivery Meeting. This is the 15th time in the course of our project that we have come together to tell you all about what we have accomplished. Of course, it was only in January 2021, 15 months ago, that we, for the first time ever, even mentioned the idea of Panquake. And you all received that idea with tons of excitement and tons of support. Subsequently, we did our project planning and hiring through February to May of 2021. And in June, we began coding our application. By December, we had proof of concepts for network. And by February, we had our demo interface, which is why last month we were able to show you what it is that we are building. So where we're at in our campaign, we are in the third and final phase of our campaign fundraising. Don't believe the haters. It's totally normal for at the beginning of each funding phase, things to look like they're moving a little bit slowly in terms of donations coming in. But things accelerate progressively through each funding phase. And then we usually have an enormous rally in the last 30% or so leading up to the completion of the phase. As you would know if you had watched our phase 2 fundraising late last year, you would have seen a really slow acceleration and then an enormous, massive push around the end. Well, this is the last time that we're repeating that process. In this final funding round, we will build consistently throughout this year towards 100%, and then you can expect a huge, massive rally at the end to polish this off. So we're currently at $177,448 raised of $677K, which will fund the delivery of the product, but more importantly, the support of the product. And we'll get into a few more details about that shortly. In terms of our beta development, we are progressing our blockchain design and builds. In our marketing campaign, we have interviews all over the show lined up and in print as well as in video. And we are also working on something really cool around providing merchandise IRL. And I think I will tell you a bit more about that next month, because what we've got planned is pretty unique and spectacular. We are still accepting beta applications, and those are being vetted and approved. You can apply for our beta at panquake.com/5000. Only 5,000 lucky users will get to use the first ever Panquake application when we release it. And then in later releases after that, we will expand the user base once we are sure that the application is stable and working the way we have intended it to. In terms of Talk Collaboration, which is our Substack page at talkcollaboration.substack.com, we are still publishing. We put out a new piece fairly recently. Go check it out. We have multiple new pieces in the works, so you will see in the coming month some significant activity on our Substack. Of course, that Substack is the easiest way to provide ongoing financial support in small dollar amounts to Panquake. For only $5 a month, you can make a recurring contribution that will directly support the Panquake build by subscribing at talkliberation.substack.com. Okay, now we get into the cool stuff, the super cool stuff, and that is development progress in the month of April. Now, when I was putting this slide together, I honestly could have put like 30, 40, 50 things on this slide. Our build is accelerating so quickly that literally every single day, our application is significantly more advanced than it was the day prior. And one of the coolest things that happened in April is that I actually got given login access to the Panquake application, and I can now log into Panquake whenever I want and play with it whenever I want and show it to people whenever I want, which is so fun and so cool. Prior to that, we had to have the developers run it for us. But now for Panquake execs to be able to log in and play with it whenever we want has been yet another really awesome milestone. And of course, then I'm constantly suggesting improvements, and we're constantly tasking revisions and just making the application even more awesome for all of you. So some major development steps that were achieved in the course of April. Real-time updating on the interface is now in place to the second, to the minute, to the hour, and it all changes the times, the timestamps and everything, all dynamically update in front of your eyes. You don't have to reload the page. You don't have to go to a different page and nothing. It all happens in real time in front of your eyes, which is what we had wanted all along. One of the coolest things has been that we can now make Panquakes. So Panquake, the application, is named after a function that we invented called a Panquake. And that is where in literally just a few seconds, you can select multiple pieces of content, stack them together, and then get a shareable link, which you can share on any other application, any other social media application, or you can email it or SMS it, or just go post it anywhere on the web. And anyone who hits that link comes to panquake.com dashboard and sees a timeline comprised of just the messages that you selected to be stacked together on that page. So it's a really amazing way of taking multiple pieces of cool or interesting content and in seconds, turning them into a custom timeline that anyone in the world can view, and you can send it to them. So I have been constantly making Panquakes, to be honest, since I got access to the application. I've been literally every day playing with the Panquake functionality and having the time of my life with it. And the most exciting thing for me, I think, is that when I first dreamed up Panquakes, I had like this quite certain idea in my head of how fast I wanted it to be, like how easy the workflow should be, how anyone should understand how to create a Panquake for themselves in seconds without even really needing a tutorial or anything. And I even had like quite a firm idea of like the colors involved and like what it should visually appear like. And so then early last year, when we're doing all the design planning, I was able to take those ideas and put them down onto, slides. I was going to say on paper, but actually it's on digital slides, and hand them off to our devs. And now to see that functionality created and implemented, it literally looks and functions exactly how I had envisioned it and hoped and dreamed that it would. It's just as fast, it's just as intuitive and easy, and it looks freaking amazing. Like the finished Panquake looks amazing. And I won't say any more than that because I don't want to give too much away, but it is phenomenal. So the entire Panquake workflow is now in the application and functional. So selecting the quakes, these are the messages that are going to go in the Panquake, stacking it into the Panquake itself, creating that Panquake, getting the link, and all the share options are there as well. And then once you've created the Panquake, if you've seen our UI reveal this month at panquake.com/reveal, you will have seen that we have content filters on the timeline, and one of them says Panquakes. And that's the part that stores the Panquakes that you create so that you can go back to them after the fact or reshare them later on, et cetera, et cetera. And that part is all done as well. So when I'm logged in on Panquake, I create Panquakes, I get my shareable links. Then I click on Panquakes, and sure enough, there's my little archive, my little time linear archive of all the Panquakes that I've created. So totally stoked about that. Also, we have cemented our character limits on Quake messages. We've implemented those field restrictions and all the displays in to show you where you're at, like how many characters you have remaining, etc., across multi different pieces of functionality. So that's just a taste of what got done in April. In reality, a lot more than that got done in April. But I've just picked up a couple of big things, big achievements and accomplishments to share with you. Okie dokie, in terms of, these are some of the near-term delivery landmarks, milestones that we talked about in February, and I just want to revisit them and let you know where we're at with them. So at that time, we were planning on releasing our first ever FOSS release, our first ever source code that had been written by our team, which was beautifully packaged by Sean and the devs and released on Git. So that is now complete, done and dusted. You probably saw the press release that went out about that. Hopefully you know it's there and can go and check it out. It was vetted by industry professionals and the feedback was very strong, really good on that. As you know, the Panquake Interface 1.0, which we had previously told you we were wanting to release, has now been revealed to the world. Infrastructure planning. I know Sean has been chipping away at this. It's a big task. It's basically the plan for the creation and maintenance of all of the technical infrastructure underlying our network. As you know, we're hosted in Iceland, so there are a few pieces there. But because we are a distributed and decentralized network, there will actually be pieces all around the world as well. So Sean's doing a great job working on that, and we'll keep you updated. As far as service planning, which is my baby, so this is how we're devising all of the systems that our customer support, our accounts administrators, our content moderators, our technical support will use to administrate the application and to perform their roles to the maximum benefit of our users. We are way down the pathway of designing those internal systems. They're all beautifully segregated and like with a real privacy and security focus. Again, we're not storing any user data, just like we don't store it with the Panquake application. Even on our own internal administrative systems, we are not storing any profiling information about our users at all. Everything is really carefully separated to make sure that we're not in any way exposing our user base. What else have we been doing with that, as well as literally designing the screens of those systems, workflows, queuing and staging, and eventually at the end of this process of the service planning, we will create our standard operating procedures and our internal knowledge base. And then we'll be pretty much done and dusted. We pass the system design planning off to the devs, give them the design spec, and then away we go. So we are definitely one step ahead, as you can see, even though we still have quite a bit to go this year in raising the funds that will pay those staff. We are already creating and implementing the systems that will facilitate their work. And this is something I'm quite notorious in our business for, is strategic planning, advanced planning. We always have done our legwork ahead of needing to implement it. So, and blockchain, I already discussed, is in progress on a weekly basis right now. Every month we also release our Talk Collaboration publication metrics. Even though we had virtually no publishing in March, we were prepping the interface reveal, we still actually managed to pick up some new subscribers between March and April, which is quite amazing considering our attentions were largely elsewhere. So really cool to see that our opening rate on our publishing is even higher than before, and that we're still picking up some new subs. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed at talkcollaboration.substack.com. This is what our look and feel video, our UI reveal video looks like. It's actually also now mounted on the panquake.com landing page. So you don't even have to go to the /reveal link that I keep dropping. You can actually just check it out on the landing page of panquake.com. You'll also find it has replaced the original campaign video now on the Go Get Funding. So if you go to gogetfunding.com/pancake, or panquake.com/donate also takes you there. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. There's some really cool speakers at the end talking about their impressions of having seen our demo application, et cetera, et cetera. Bill Binney, John Kiriakou, a bunch of others. So have a look and let us know what you think. And of course, another big piece of news came out in April. This is a bit of our press release about it. The famous CIA torture whistleblower, John Kiriakou, has been appointed Panquake ambassador. What that means is that John is out there doing all kinds of interviews and press and marketing work, promotional work, to help get Panquake through phase 3 and to raise the funds for delivery. And some of those appearances, he's been accompanied by our very own Sean O'Brien, who will be talking to you in a couple of minutes. So where are we at? We have blitzed phase 1, we have completed phase 2, and we are in the third and final fundraising round. The more shares we get, the more people talk about us. And I've got to say, there is like an unbelievable amount of people talking about us right now. There has been so much conversation about Panquake, given, you know, increasing censorship, but also recent events around social media and around Twitter in particular. Many people are talking about why Panquake is the solution for them, and I deeply appreciate you all for being our voice. So what is the phase 3 funding going to enable us to do? It will empower us to hire and train the customer support and account staff, the technical support, 24/7 technical support and operations staff that we need to maintain our network, and our content moderators, and also some marketing and promo around the release of the application. So please do pop along to panquake.com/donate and help us to get there. The faster we raise those funds, the faster we put Panquake into your hands. So I deeply appreciate all your support. And I would like to introduce the wonderful Sean O'Brien, Chief Security Officer of Panquake and one of the serious backbones of everything that we do. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Suzie. Thank you. This has been an amazing month. We're killing it. We're really just going through tasks so quickly. And as you said, Suzie, you know, I mean, we could have put a ton of stuff on that, you know, that development progress slide. Two things I just want to make sure I highlight, which we do get questions about, and I think that folks should know we're also working on these aspects. The first one is we're taking very seriously, you know, sharing of other content in Quakes, which are short messages on Panquake. And we want to make sure that when someone, for example, shares a link from YouTube or Twitter or one of these other big tech networks that spy on people, that we're not doxing our users to those networks, right? So we are writing specific, you know, sort of like an internal plugin for Quakes. And that will make sure that when you bring this content into our network, we are sanitizing it for you in a way that you're not exposing yourself right away to these networks. And the people who read your Quakes aren't, and the people who click on that content, you know, then if they go out to that network, they can do whatever they want to do. But on our end, we want to make sure we're not sort of screwing with our ecosystem by mixing in all this other stuff. So we're being very careful in a way that I don't think anyone else has been that I'm aware of across, you know, the social networking space. We're thinking very deeply as we build new features about privacy and security, not just the fun, amazing functionality that you all saw at the beginning of this month, which I am very excited about as well. It's so cool to see the feedback from everyone, how much the features like Thunderquakes, Panquakes, Lovequakes, Cupquakes, folks are really just keen on seeing us deliver this stuff. And we're each day, each week, and certainly each month when we do these meetings, we have more and more progress to show. So I'm so psyched to see all of that. The second piece, which we get questions about quite a bit, is media, so multimedia, pictures and video. We're also working on, you know, sort of alongside that piece I was talking about of making sure that we're sort of scrubbing, big tech links that come into our network. We're also working on smart ways to embed content and to make sure that it has permanency throughout our peer-to-peer network. We want to make sure that when things are shared, they're shared between peers in a privacy respecting way, right? And we want to also make sure that they're shared in a way that is fun and conducive to, what folks, I think, want to see on the network. So we'll have a nice little embedded media player. We're working on things like animated GIFs and all the emojis and all of those pieces. That fun stuff, which of course other networks have, we're going to do, but we're going to do it Panquake style, right? We're going to do it in a way that makes sure we're not just shoving in some third-party plugin or code from elsewhere. And, again, we want to take the privacy and potentially the anonymity of our subscribers very seriously. So yeah, those two features I just wanted to make sure I highlighted. We're working on blockchain. We're working on this service planning. Suzie's doing an excellent job with some other staff on that. I'm still working on the systems overview and planning for all of how the systems are going to interrelate and all the hosting and all of that. We had some excellent meetings this month with our on-the-ground folks in Iceland, and that went really swimmingly, and really psyched about that. And yeah, things are really snowballing. So
people get it. I mean, that's the overwhelming sense that I get from everyone that we talk to, everyone that we meet with. And there are a number of people now who have seen the demo application and are actually seeing things being clicked and moved around and seeing the functionality in front of their eyes rather than just flat images or flat screens. And every single one of them the response has just been like, wow, this is incredible. So there's no doubt we're onto something in a big way. And this is really going to change the way that people experience social media. And I'm so proud. We also had a deluge of donations around your and John's recent appearance, which was fantastic. I just did my little updated donations thread thanking everyone and had to put 60 something new donation thank yous into a couple of tweets. So I appreciate all of you who are actually stepping up and helping us get closer to making this thing something that you all get to enjoy. And we will just keep delivering. I want you to know that every single day for frankly obscene amounts of hours, we work on Panquake. There is never a day where we don't. We're always at it. The team is always moving, always working. So please know we're doing right by you. And this thing is getting closer and closer and closer to delivering the next generation of social media. On that note, we will see you next month for our May public delivery meeting. And in the meantime, thank you all and see you soon. Take care.